Shree Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Sindhuraruna Vigraham Trinayanam Manikyamaulispurattaranayak Shekharam Smitamukhim Apina Makshuruham Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam Raktotpalam Vibhratim Saumyam Ratna Ghadastha Rakta Charanam Dhyayet Param Ambika. Welcome to all for this session on Lalitopakhyanam. In the previous chapters, we were seeing how Sati, being having seen the humiliation of Shiva by her father, had quit her body, burning it by the fire of her yoga, and then she entered into the womb of Menaka, the wife of Himavan, and reborn there as Parvata's daughter Parvati, and her beauty, exemplary beauty, was explained in the previous chapter. While listening to all this thing, Agastya got curious regarding what had happened to the Daksha Yagna after Sati had left her body. So Agastya asked Hayagreva, O Lord Hayagreva, abode of all wisdom, kindly relate to me what happened when Lord Shiva heard of the passing of his wife Sati Devi. Did he, in his wrath, punish Daksha for his wickedness, or did he just bear it all in equanimity with an unruffled heart? Hayagriva replied to him, O Agastya, of great austerity, listen, and I shall tell all those stories. When the spouse of Shiva, Sati Devi, consumed her body in the flame born of yoga, and rose up in the form of Jyoti and vanished into the sky in the direction of Himalayas. Her devoted handmaids and many pramatha ganas and chiefs who had accompanied her to the Daksha's place left the Yagashala, that is a place of Yagna, in haste and returned to Kailasa with the empty chariot of Sati Devi, but they had no courage to break the terrible news to Sanghakara, that means to the Shiva. With brief grief laden hearts and tears streaming down their cheeks, broken hearted and unable to utter words through choked throats, these maidens stood before their Lord, who already divining the nature of the news, pressing them to speak out without any fear. With halting speech, their words interrupted by uncontrollable sobs, they managed to relate the entire sequence of what had taken place at Daksha's Yagnashala, ending with the most unhappy but miraculous and wonderfully instantaneous incineration of Sati Devi's exquisitely beautiful body, which vanished in a flash of flame without leaving even a trace of ash behind. Lord Shiva's heart heaved ominously at these words, and his rising wrath knew no bounds. But in the same instant, he controlled the welling up of wrath so as to save the three worlds from dire consequences. The soaring rage of Nilakantha, Shiva, thus kept within bounds, was directed solely towards the destruction of Daksha and his race, to humble to the dust the haughty Daksha of abusive speech, his brows knit in anger and his lips trembled, striking fear even in the hearts of those moving in Akasha sky. His body began to perspire with the bated breath, the sweet pausing sparks of the flame to rise. The hair on his head loosened and rose as their roots stiffened and bulged in anger, and they flew about in the air in all directions as though seeking for the culprit. Ksha. The snakes that formed his ornaments spread out their hoods and writhed in sheer impatience, looking for their prey. Daksha, the blood that had rushed to his forehead when he had knit his eyebrows, knit his brows, also now invaded his wide open eyes and transformed them into live embers of fire, scorching all that came into line with them. Sensing this, the Pramathaganas fled from him instantly and took refuge elsewhere. Although fearing the consequences of staying near his lord at such moments, Nandideva stood his ground for a while in hesitation, but soon he also retreated, unable to bear the scorching heat of his lord's invincible fire of wrath. Earth soon began to vibrate with a great intensity of the heat, and the sun and the stars faded before the brilliance of Shiva's fierce flame of wrath, filling the three worlds with the premonition of large scale destruction. Thus, in this chapter, we are seeing how Shiva was filled with anger, filled with the wrath to do the wrath on Daksha on hearing Sati having left her body and disappeared into the sky. Then in order to save the triple world which is hidden inside his belly, he controlled his wrath for the sake of the three worlds. However, his entire wrath was directed towards the destruction of Daksha, for which all the Pramathaganas and even the earth started shaking at the heat that was generated by the wrath of Shiva, the lord of all the three worlds. Namaste Sharada Devi Kashmirapuravasini Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.